So today I want to share this incredible story from Egypt. It's about a father who knows his time might be running out, and he comes up with this devastating test for his three sons. It's a test of loyalty that is either going to bring them closer than ever or just shatter their family completely. It really makes you think, what is the true price of devotion?
And that's really the heart of the whole story, isn't it? When things get tough, when a family's entire legacy is on the line, how does a father really find out who he can count on? Well, the answer in this story is as shocking as it is powerful. Let's dive in.
Okay, so the story starts with what I'm calling the test of debt. This is the moment that takes a family's pretty normal life and just flips it completely upside down. So let's meet the family. You've got Haji Hassan and his three sons. He's a good father. He's given them a great education, and they're all grown up and settled in their own homes. On the surface, it's the perfect picture. But then Haji Hassan gets sick. And when he finally comes back from the hospital, something's off. He's quiet, he looks exhausted, and you can just tell he's carrying this heavy weight that nobody can see. Not yet, anyway.
And then, without saying a word, he just slides this single folded piece of paper onto the table. When his sons open it, you can imagine, the air just gets sucked out of the room. It's a note for a massive, crushing debt in their father's name. 900,000 Egyptian guinea. That's a life-changing amount of money. And the worst part? It's due right now. The silence is just deafening.
And this, right here, is the moment everything changes. It's the moment of decision, where what these three sons say and what they don't say is going to reveal everything about who they really are.
And wow, the difference between them is just night and day. The oldest son, Khalid, immediately starts talking about how broke he is because of school fees. The middle son, Saeed, chimes in about his own business loans. But the youngest, Yusuf, he doesn't say a word. He just looks at his dad, sees the exhaustion in his eyes, the weight on his shoulders, and in his heart, he just knows he can't say no.
So, while his brothers are listing off all their own problems, Yusuf does something incredible. He reaches for the pen, and without even hesitating, he signs his name. He takes on the entire impossible debt all by himself. He just turns to his father and says, "Don't worry, I'll pay it back."
And that single signature kicks off the absolute hardest period of Yusuf's life. This next chapter is all about his sacrifice, where his promise is really put to the test.
For an entire year, Yusuf's life is just this relentless grind. The first thing he does is bring his father to live in a small apartment so he can take care of him. He works his normal job all day, and then he gets in a taxi and drives late into the night. Some nights, dinner is literally just bread and cheese. But his wife, she's his rock through all of it. She even sells her own gold jewelry just to help make ends meet. And right in the middle of all this hardship, they have a son, a little moment of pure joy for everyone.
You have to wonder, right? What keeps someone going through all that? For Yusuf, it wasn't about money or getting a pat on the back. His biggest reward, the thing that made it all worth it, was just seeing that quiet smile of satisfaction on his father's face. That was everything.
Okay, so a full year goes by. Every single day has been a struggle, chipping away at this massive debt. And that brings us to the climax of the story, the revelation of truth.
On the exact one-year anniversary of that day, Haji Hassan calls Yusuf into his room. He pulls another folded paper out of his drawer and puts it down in front of his son. So what now? After everything Yusuf has been through, what could this possibly be? Yusuf unfolds the paper, and you can just imagine. His whole world just stops. It's not another debt. It's a will. A legal document that transfers ownership of a 3-story house in the city and a big piece of commercial land directly to him, and only him. He is just stunned. And right at that moment, the door opens. In walk his two older brothers, Khalid and Saeed. Their father had called them over. Their eyes go straight to the paper in Yusuf's hand, and you can just see it on their faces. Confusion turns to shock, and then to this deep, deep regret. The oldest finally speaks up, asking, "Father, why? We're your sons too."
And this is where the father lays it all out, the final powerful lesson of this whole story, what he calls the lesson of inheritance.
Haji Hassan looks at his older sons, and his voice is soft, but it's firm. He tells them, "Look, I know everyone has their own problems, but when I really needed someone, only one of you stepped up. This inheritance, this house, and this land, it's not just a gift. It's the reward for lifting a burden that the two of you wouldn't even touch."
But then, he delivers the final twist, the one nobody saw coming. He turns to Yusuf and tells him he can stop worrying about paying off the rest of the debt. Why? Because there was no debt. He had paid it all off himself, a long, long time ago.
And in that one moment, it all becomes crystal clear. The crushing debt, his father's pained silence, that single piece of paper, it was all an act. An elaborate, painful, and heartbreaking test of character.
So this whole story leaves us with this huge question. Yeah, Yusuf inherited land and property, but his brothers, they lost their father's trust, maybe for good. It really makes you ask yourself, what's the real inheritance we should be fighting for? Is it wealth or is it trust? And what are we willing to do to earn it?